All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am standing here with a couple of studs. I was typing this, and Dan, I said, I don't even know what I called it. What did I say? Father and son, 12-week transformation. And he said the only word that came to mind
Studs.
was studs.
Yeah.
So I typed in studs. So real quick, the whole reason I'm making this video is because Dan actually just finished a whole first phase of care. He's got some pretty funky shoulder stuff that we're going to work around, but overall, you came in a bad place, and you made some pretty awesome progress.
Yeah. Way better.
And then now you've become like one of our favorite patients.
He says that to everybody, but I'm believing it.
I'm sorry to everyone else who's on this that's not our favorite patient. Hey, look who's on there. It's Kaylee.
Hey, Kaylee.
Kaylee, how's it going? So anyway, Dan is definitely one of our favorite patients. His son Blake now is like our second favorite patient, almost up there. No offense to everyone else who we didn't name. We have a bunch of favorites. But Dan went through the 12-week transformation. So he came in, and this was like an acute low back thing, and he got way more functional, learned a bunch of stuff about posture, movement, improved his spine mechanics quite a bit. We have pre and post x-rays. We'll throw those up in just a second. He came to a dinner with the docs event. He made a joke saying it was the most expensive dinner he's ever been to in his life, because what happened, his son came in as a patient, his wife came in as a patient, his daughter, she's a little bit MIA right now, but she'll be here as well. And I joked back and said, this is not the most expensive dinner you've had. This is like the most cost-saving, long-term.
Long-term, yeah.
Long-term, yeah. Short-term, yeah, everyone comes in, does care. But a couple cool things is it was somewhat of a surprise, but not really too much of a surprise, because I told Dan last time, because he was finishing care, and he did awesome. He got really great changes on his x-rays. He's done his home care, how many times a week have you been doing your home care?
At least every day. At least once a day.
Yeah, he is. Like taking extreme, and you're doing your home care
every day.
Every day too.
Every day too. So it's like such a breath of fresh air when you have patients that just actually do what they're supposed to do, and it's like there's no battle, there's no fight. And I'm sharing this with all of our other chiropractors out there that follow what we do, because just so you guys know, in the whole like rehab world, chiropractic world, home care, statistically across the board, they say there's about a 25% compliance.
Oh, wow.
So meaning 75% people don't do anything at all, or if they are going to do the home care, they do very, very little. I would argue that in our systems, it's extremely different, and that our compliance is way, way, way higher. And it's because we have the online portal that you get access to, you have a journal, it's like the culture of the clinic, so it's almost like, it's almost like if you don't do it, you're wasting your time going through this process, right? Yeah. So people do home care, yes. And so what I was going to say, Dan did so well with all of his changes, and we were inspired by him, really. And I'm not saying that to be funny at all, but like our staff meets, we look at different patients doing things, and that's what's really cool, is that our patients end up lighting a fire under us and going, wow, this is awesome that our patients are getting such awesome results. They're following this process. And it sometimes even gets some of our staff who've been slacking, and it gives them a little kick in the butt for them to do more of their home care and take it seriously and do their traction and get adjusted.
Nice.
So anyway, something that we did as a token of appreciation that we like to do, and that's part of the reason I have Blake in here, so he can actually pick this up. So go ahead and grab that, Blake. All right, look at this. 20-kilo kettlebell for Dan. All right, very nice. And so our goal now for your phase 2 care of just keeping you healthy and getting you more functional, seeing what we can do with the shoulder, modifying some stuff with the shoulder, but getting you to be able to do a clean. Have you started doing cleans yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so cleans, that's the thing that we're going to do.
I'll be showing you what to do.
Father and son cleans, okay. And then I'm going to pull up Dan's x-rays real quick too, so you can just see this, because Dan gave me permission to show this. So, all right. So I'll show you this on the screen. All right, let's pull up the before and after. All right, so this is a pre and post. Now, granted, a little bit antalgic initially, so there was a little more of a shift here. However, I would argue that is more or less his normal upright posture, and it's been like that for a while. Had a pretty bad disc bulge on the right side, and we're able to get the rib cage over quite a bit, straighten this out quite a bit. But notice what's going on the sagittal curve. Huge loss of lumbar curve, loss of thoracic, loss of cervical. A lot of this has come back, And it was a really cool change here. And he's done lots and lots of traction to make this happen. And he's following everything he's supposed to be doing. This is one of those cases where the goal is not to have perfect sagittal alignment. I think it's better to have these 3 curves in the spine and be a little bit translated backwards as he is here. So he is a little bit translated back, but all 3 of these curves are starting to come back in, versus having good sagittal alignment, meaning the skull lining up over the pelvis, but having almost no curve in between. The curves obviously are shock absorbers. We need those. And now Dan's way more functional. This is a much healthier, safer spine that's gonna prevent and avoid injury. Like, this is the kind of spine where you step off of a curb the wrong way and you feel a jolt in your lower back, so you got nothing to dissipate that force. This is actually gonna start to be a little springier. Still wanna get a little more curve in here, that's about it, and then just get you more functional, and then maintain that for the rest of your life, and you're good. So very cool. I'm gonna flip this.
And the main thing is, to me, I feel better. That's all that matters to me right now. Definitely feel way better.
That's cool. Yeah. But it's not just about how you feel. It's about how you function, which is very important.
Nice.
But patients always want to feel better, of course, first, and that's where you have to deliver. You have to actually deliver results, because if we didn't give you any results in the first week or so that I saw you, you probably would have been somewhere else.
Right.
Agreed. And so fortunately you stuck around long enough. We got you out of that initial crisis. And then honestly, when I first met you, just because sometimes I'm good at reading people, but when I first met you, I thought, man, he's gonna get out of pain and then we're never gonna see him again. But instead, you immediately surprised me, because you got out of pain. You said, I don't wanna be like this anymore. I don't wanna do this ever again. What can I do to strengthen this and change it? And then ever since then, you've been like the role model patient. He really has been.
Yeah.
He really has been. So
All paid off.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing this with other chiropractors. Thank you. We're doing your comparative X-ray pretty soon.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Okay. So maybe very soon we're gonna have his X-ray before you're going back to school.
Yep.
So, and you're fast tracking this a little bit.
Yeah. 8-week program.
Yeah.
12.
He's doing 8 weeks because
But young people can do. Yeah.
It's primarily doing 8 weeks because his schedule. He's going back to school, and this guy works all day long, and then the second he gets off work, comes in here. I mean, I know that Dan works too, but he's working this summer job,
Right.
doing all this manual labor, and then comes in here and hangs out for an hour and a half and does all this stuff. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, over and out. I got a couple more patients to see. Thanks for all the chiropractors watching this. Comment below, and if you want to know how, ask me.